After watching the trailer of Avengers Doomsday, every kid in every street has only Doctor Doom's name on their lips. But the question arises, who exactly is Doctor Doom? I mean, we have seen him in the old Fantastic Four movies. Then we saw him in a Fantastic Four movie that nobody wants to remember. But you won't be surprised to think that, I guess, until now there has not been an accurate portrayal of him in the movie world like what is shown in the comic books. And why are people so scared of him, so terrified of him, and how is he so powerful even after being a normal human that he can create his own new world or stop Thor's Stormbreaker with 2 fingers? I guess it's time to finally find out. So, before becoming Doctor Doom, Doom was Victor Von Doom, who was born in a fictional Eastern European country, Latveria, in a gypsy tribe, you know, the nomads who keep moving from one place to another. There, his mother's name was Cynthia. His father's name was Werner von Doom, and all these people lived under the control of a baron. I mean, in that particular area of Latveria, there was a baron who controlled these entire tribes, and in a way, his terror was huge. All his men were very cruel. They would pick up anyone and take them away. And because of this whole thing, all the villagers, all the tribal people, were quite troubled. And the essence of this whole comic is that this story is being narrated by Doctor Doom from his POV. So there will be many panels where you see Victor, but behind him Doctor Doom is standing. So don't be confused. It's because Doctor Doom is narrating the entire thing. So he is standing there in those panels. So Doom tells that even before he was born, he had already attained consciousness in the womb. He had already understood the ways of the world, and he always felt smarter than normal people. The reason behind this is told to us later. It's because of his mother, Cynthia Von Doom, who was a sorceress. Or I should say she was a witch who knew dark magic. So using this kind of dark magic, she starts finishing off the Baron's men. I mean, one night she conjures such a spell that all of the Baron's men start dying overnight. But there was a small catch in this spell. Actually not small. Quite big. As soon as one of the Baron's men dies, a child in their village also dies. And the reason was that Cynthia Von Doom had not created any normal kind of spell. She had signed a deal with the devil. And who was that devil? Mephisto. So when Cynthia does this, all of the Baron's men go after her. One of them finds Cynthia and kills her. Now after Cynthia's death, her little boy Victor is very angry. But the villagers have understood that if his mother was responsible for the Baron's men's deaths, then the Baron is not going to sit quietly. I mean, at least not until he kills Victor and his father. So the villagers come and tell Victor, "Son, vacate this place, time is up." So Victor, maybe 8 to 10 years old, tells his villagers, "I am a magician like my mother. If you people throw me and my father out of here today, I will come back, and the condition my mother gave to those Baron's men, I will do much worse to you people." They get scared. So they keep Victor and his father with them for many years, wandering and wandering. And meanwhile, Victor gets a little distracted from all these things, his mother's death, the Baron's terror, because Valeria enters his life. She is a girl from his same tribe with whom Victor bonds really well. Their friendship starts to grow. But then the Baron's men enter once again. This time, they come to take Victor's father because he is a healer and the Baron's wife needs him. Victor's father doesn't want to go. Victor also tries to stop him, but they have no option. He leaves, and when he returns at night, he is very scared and tries to make Victor flee from there. Victor asks what happened. He says, "I can't tell you. Just understand that the Baron's wife was seriously, terminally ill. It was not possible to save her, and now that she has died, the Baron thinks I am responsible, and he wants to send his men to kill me." So Victor and his father start running again. They reach a snowy area. The Baron's men keep searching for them there too. Then after reaching a small place, Victor's father holds him, and they both fall asleep. In the morning when Victor wakes up, he finds out that his father has completely stiffened. It was impossible to move his body. And at this moment, Victor realizes that maybe he is also going to die. But then he has another realization. His mother's hands were always cold. And he had never felt such coldness in his life. Even though he is buried in the snow, held by his father's frozen body, he still never felt that kind of cold. Then he understands that his mother's hands were cold because she practiced witchcraft. This is something very similar to what we have seen in the MCU. I mean, when Wanda uses the Darkhold, we have seen that her hands become completely black. The same happens with Doctor Strange from the Illuminati universe. So this is also somewhat similar, that the more someone does witchcraft, the more they give their body to the demon, and because of this, their hands, legs, and entire body slowly start becoming cold. And it is at that moment Victor realizes that maybe his mother is not dead, or at least her soul is not dead. Because the demon with whom she made the deal still has her mother held captive. So this thing gives Victor a new motivation, and he takes his father and leaves from there, and we find out that his father had not died. He survives. But then the Baron's men come and take him away. And this is the last time we see his father. So technically he died. After seeing this side of the world, after losing his parents, Victor becomes very cold. This was too much for a small child, especially someone who had attained consciousness since the womb. So he starts searching for his mother's belongings and his father's belongings, and he finds his mother's witchcraft books. His mother had made his father promise before dying that Victor would never get into this. But now his father is not there to stop him. So Victor goes into magic and witchcraft. And he was already very strong from a science and technology point of view. I mean, his mind already worked like a scientist. But now, he also started mastering magic. And we see an example of this when some of the Baron's men come and trouble them once again. So Victor brings some kind of spheres in his hand, ball-type things, and throws them at the Baron's men, and all of them freeze. This proves that Victor had started combining technology and magic, not perfectly, but a little bit. And after seeing this, Victor realizes that maybe he needs to expand his magic skills even more. He starts going deeper into his mother's books. But then an incident happens with him. You see, the Baron's men he attacked go and tell their master, and then the Baron issues a bounty on Victor. And to collect that bounty, a bounty hunter finds Victor, and after finding him, he points a gun at him. Now in normal circumstances, you would imagine that a bounty hunter has pointed a gun at a child. Most likely, he will shoot him and collect the bounty. But this is not a normal child. This is Victor Von Doom. He pushes the bounty hunter's gun away, grabs him by the throat, and slowly chokes him to death on the spot. And this is Victor Von Doom's first kill, which changes him to a great extent. But then another door of opportunity opens for him, because the Americans come to him and tell him that they want him to come and work for them. Specifically, it is the American military who, after learning about Victor Von Doom's skills, wants to put him in their weapons development so that they can stay ahead of the Soviets. So Victor Von Doom reaches the U.S., where his education continues at a university, but at the same time, he keeps developing weapons for the U.S. military. He gets access to a high-tech lab, good funds, and a lot of gadgets. And he understands what he needs to do now. But then he meets Reed Richards. Yes, this is where it all starts. While studying at the university, Reed and he are both batchmates. Although Reed treats Victor very well, and even offers him to become roommates, Victor likes to work alone. He completely refuses, and although Reed is never rude to him, Victor always considers him inferior. He never talks to him properly, and a small reason for this is Victor's insecurity, because subconsciously he knows that Reed is more intellectually superior than him. Victor never wants to openly accept that, and that same thing has always been the cause of their conflict till today, because Victor simply cannot accept that Reed's intellect is better than his, greater than his. Yes, Doom is superior to Reed in magic, tech, and power, but Reed is smarter. And Victor gets a slight hint of this when in class he contradicts his professor, explaining that normal humans imagine time in a linear fashion, like a flowing river. But Victor feels that time is a constant. It is a separate dimension, and if seen from another perspective, one will understand that whatever is happening is all fixed. And although his professor starts making fun of Victor, Reed supports his theory and says that when he did his experiments, he also felt the same thing. And that is when Victor realizes that Reed Richards is not a normal human. And you see the pattern, right? That from here onwards Victor Von Doom already had a very good idea about time travel and these things. And he is the perfect person for Avengers Doomsday, because here too there is talk about time travel, multiverse, and all these things. Meanwhile, everything was happening in university life. Victor had everything around him, but his focus was only on one thing. He was developing weapons for the U.S. Army. I mean, he had made a robot that the people there were quite happy with, but it was still not perfect. So Victor still had to make some modifications. But this was not Victor's main goal. The thing Victor was actually working on was a chair. A chair through which Victor could save his mother. When I told you that Victor's mother's soul is still trapped in hell, then Victor understands this thing. And from then on he keeps looking for a way to save his mother's soul. And this chair was made for that. But because it is not fully ready yet, Victor slowly starts settling into university life. Here, apart from Reed Richards, we find out that Ben Grimm was also studying at the same place. But he is completely a party person. And on this occasion, Victor likes a girl. They get together. But as soon as things start moving forward a little, Victor switches on his same finisher mode and starts choking her too. And after this moment, Victor realizes that all these distractions will not work for him anymore. So he completely dedicates himself to creating those robots. And apart from that, he creates another device for the U.S. Army that can time travel. I mean, when the Army general comes and asks him, "Son, what have you made?" he says, "I am trying to send monkeys forward and backward in weeks." Many monkeys are locked in that cage. So the general says, "Have you successfully done anything yet?" He says, "Yes, I sent this monkey back and brought it back." So the general says, "There are many monkeys in the cage. Which monkey are you talking about?" Then he looks at the general and says, "This is the same monkey. I sent it forward and backward again and brought it here, and made this many." And then he shows his robots, which impressed the general a lot. But Victor says there is a small problem in them. He asks, "What is the problem?" They look fine. Then he says, "They think they are human." And now, if you haven't figured things out, the time travel device Doom made earlier is his time platform, which exists as the most advanced time travel machine in Latveria. This is its prototype. And these robots are prototypes of his Doombots. I mean, Dr. Doom has many robots that look exactly like him. And their specialty is that they think they are Dr. Doom. If you ask one, it will say, "I am Dr. Doom." Another will say, "I am Dr. Doom." And this is not part of their programming. They are just that intelligent. Now when Victor is returning to his room, he finds out that Reed is already present in his room and has already come to know about Victor's chair. But even more than that, when he studied Reed's documents, he said that there is a problem in them. Your calculations are not correct. If Victor uses that machine, then whatever happens, it could be catastrophic. But Victor's ego is like the biggest person in that room right now. So he kicks him out right there. And once, if Reed had not given Victor the notes, then maybe Victor would not have used that chair. But just because Reed Richards said it, Victor says, "Now I will definitely use this chair," just to prove Reed wrong. So he puts that helmet on his head. And as soon as that machine is switched on, Victor is transported to hell. This is quite a Doctor Strange type moment, like that "open your eye" scene, and Victor is just falling. Falling, falling, falling. He is experiencing so many things at the same time, and it is not possible for a normal human brain to comprehend this. But when Victor's eyes open, he finds himself in hell near his mother, who is bound in chains. Victor tries his best to free her, but he does not know how. And then his gaze rises up. There, behind those chains, behind that entire hell, the person, or rather the demon responsible, is visible. And he turns out to be Mephisto. Now technically this is not hell, because Mephisto does not rule over hell. This is a separate dimension called the Netherworld or Netherrealm, and Mephisto rules over it. So when Mephisto sees that Victor is there, he says to Cynthia, "Oh, this is your son. So you have brought him here, and you don't even know what you have done. Now I will never let him go." But then the device Victor had made, the chair, explodes, and Victor comes back out of hell. But because of that device, that accident, and that explosion, Victor's face becomes completely damaged. He is lying on his hospital bed. But whatever chaos he caused, because of that the U.S. Army people come and are not at all happy with him, and they keep him as a prisoner there. His university degree is gone. Everything is gone. But Victor is not worried about it. He experienced whatever he experienced in hell. He saw Mephisto. But the thing that troubles him even more is defeat. Victor Von Doom had never seen loss or defeat in his life. And this thing was so troubling for him that because of the trauma of this thing, the scar on his face gets amplified. I mean, yes, Victor's face gets damaged in that explosion. But it was a minor scar. But it was Victor's ego, his defeat, his entire personality that makes that scar very big in Victor's eyes, and he starts feeling that he cannot show his face to the world. He plans to escape from the U.S., for which he uses his Doombots. They set the whole lab on fire. They kill people. And Victor escapes to somewhere in Europe. But his escape was only in physical form. Because at night when he slept, he still had those same hell, same demon, same Mephisto dreams haunting him. Every day in his sleep he tries to save his mother, but ends up failing badly, and this defeat does not let him sleep, does not let him wake up. He constantly thinks only about how he can defeat Mephisto and free his mother. Outside his door, a homeless man named Otto always sits, whom he tries to shoo away. But Otto is a friendly homeless man. He wants to talk to him and always greets him. And Victor is wandering the streets of Europe to refresh his mind. Then he sees Valeria. Yes, this is the same childhood Valeria, who for some reason found Victor. Victor asks her how this happened. She tells him that whatever Victor did in the U.S., and after that he escaped. Then the U.S. people told the Baron, "Find Victor for us." So the Baron and his men together started killing the people of their entire tribe. Started hunting them. And in this way, Valeria somehow came here looking for Victor. So they both rekindle their romance. For the time being, Victor also escapes his nightmares, and he starts feeling that maybe his life is a little okay now. But then one day, when Victor and Valeria are going out for a walk, Otto puts a flower on Valeria's coat. They don't pay much attention to it, and then as soon as they go a little further, they are attacked by a car, and some people come out and put a gun to Valeria's temple. Seeing this, Victor gets very angry, but he cannot understand how to stop them. You see, these are not the U.S. people. This is the KGB. KGB? What is that? Those who have come to know about Victor, and now they want to misuse or use his skill set for their own benefit. But before anything can happen, the flower that was placed on Valeria's coat creates a kind of shield over her, and then there is smoke there. Some magic-type things start happening, and when everything clears, Victor sees that all the KGB agents have been killed. But Victor and Valeria are both safe, and the one responsible for saving their lives was that same homeless Otto. Victor goes to him and talks to him, and Otto tells him that he was not a normal human. He was a Tibetan monk, and there is a prophecy there according to which a man will come from another country who will become their master and teach them such things that they have never even imagined. And he tells Victor, "You have to go. You are that master." So Victor leaves Valeria there. He says, "There is no happiness in my life. I do not derive happiness." And he leaves for Tibet. After wandering in the snow for many weeks and months, he still does not find the monastery he was looking for, or the one Otto told him about. And then he comes face to face with a Yeti, a freaking Yeti, and it is much more powerful than Victor. It even injures him. But then Victor finds a bomb that he himself created. You know those spheres? So Victor picks it up and shoves that bomb into the Yeti's mouth. And he kills the Yeti. And as soon as it is done, from here you will understand how badass Victor Von Doom is. He takes the Yeti's skin with him and wears it. This is how badass he is. And then after a few days of searching, he finally finds that monastery. This sequence feels quite like Batman Begins. After reaching there, he loses himself in actual magic, sorcery, and witchcraft. But not only that, he keeps advancing in magic. This does not mean that he abandons the path of science and technology. In fact, he blends these two things so seamlessly that it feels very normal to a great extent. And in this way, a few weeks, a few months, many years pass, and Victor Von Doom advances himself so much that he becomes the master of even the monks of that monastery. And the thing I told you, that Doom can combine technology and magic to make very innovative and brilliant things. The perfect example of this is the compound screen viewer. It is basically a TV, but it does not need any cable. It does not need any internet connection, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, none of that. It automatically catches all the signals in the ether, meaning in the air, and broadcasts them on screen. It catches aura. And as soon as the TV turns on, after so many years, Victor gets curious about what is happening in the world. So the first thing he finds out is that the Baron, the one who is responsible for his mother, his father, everything, has now become the king of Latveria. I mean, the person who caused so much destruction, who ruined Victor Von Doom's life, has now become the king of Latveria. And as if this was not enough, to rub salt on his wounds, Reed Richards comes on the news. And then he tells how they went to space and got powers, and now he is being called Dr. Richards. And seeing this, Victor Von Doom is not happy at all. He says, "Richards is inferior to me, nothing in front of me." And he has become the world's smartest person alive in front of the world. I will show the world who Doom is. But how will he do this? Because at night, he cannot sleep. Mephisto's nightmares do not let him sleep. So he says, "I will have to find a way for this. I need something that protects me from all the fears of the world, all the powers, all the spells. Something that acts like his second skin." And then he starts creating his armor. This armor is made of titanium alloy, but like the rest of Doom's things, it is a very excellent combination of his science and magic, and because of this, his armor is perhaps one of the strongest things in Marvel's comic book universe. I mean, the more powerful Doom's magic is, the stronger his armor will be. Then it does not matter whether he is fighting adamantium, vibranium, or you are you. And this same armor gives him protection from Mephisto, the nightmares that troubled him at night. This armor is his defense. And then finally, when they take out his mask, they heat it up. It is hot. So Doom says, "Put it on hot." The other person says, "Brother, it will burn too much." He says, "Put it on." So as soon as they press that hot iron mask onto his face, Doom's face becomes even more scarred than it was before. And that is how Doctor Doom is created. After becoming Doctor Doom, the first thing he does is go to Latveria. After reaching there, he understands that many people are unhappy with King Vladimir, so he gathers all those people, gathers his old people, and starts an uprising. In between, Valeria also comes to tell him, "Victor, what has happened to you? I can't even recognize you." Then he tells his men, "Take her outside first." So Victor Von Doom, along with some of his army and some Doombots, starts marching toward that castle. There, the Baron is already troubled by this whole uprising. He deploys his army in front of him. But Doom is just too powerful for them. They cannot do anything to him. And then a moment comes when the armies come face to face, and seeing Doom's power, the king's army gives way. And Doom flies straight into the castle's throne room, and applies his finisher. He chokes the life out of him. So this is how Doctor Doom, the ruler, the king of Latveria, is born. Although he is a dictator, the people of Latveria always prosper. They are quite happy in their lives because of Doom's rule. I mean, Latveria is one of those places where everything is free. No one has to pay anything. So the people there are actually very happy. But Doctor Doom's problem is not solved yet. He still has to save his mother from Mephisto. So he talks to Mephisto face to face, like, "Okay, let's see whatever happens." So Mephisto says, "Okay, brother, I understand that you want to come and take your mother. Let's do one thing. Let's make a deal. You can fight me one night every year. And if you win, your mother's soul will be freed. But if you lose, then every single time you lose, your people will start despising you. Meaning, they will start hating you. And over the years, the more you lose, the worse your rule will become." And considering Doctor Doom, you already know what answer he will give to this. He says yes. Now whether Doctor Doom will be able to free his mother's soul from Mephisto, this story is probably for another time, when I will tell you about Doctor Doom's adventures in a separate video. But if you compare this story with the MCU's RDJ Doctor Doom story, it feels very different. Because here the motivation behind Doctor Doom becoming Doom is completely different. But what we have been seeing in Doom's story so far feels quite different. It's more about justice, it's more about revenge, it's more about loss. RDJ's Doctor Doom has suffered such a loss in his life, because of which he wants all these people to go through the same thing, and he wants them to pay for it. So how all these things pan out, we will talk about all that too. Don't make this video 6 to 8 hours long. I have been thinking about making this video for a long time. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, I have a lot to talk about. But we will talk about them. We will move forward slowly. We will probably talk about it. I will meet you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.